Calvary Recap number 20. It's so great to be with you today. Fun little fact we talked this weekend about citizens of heaven. Paul uses this example of citizenship, which would have been very familiar with the people in Philippi. Philippi was captured, according to a bunch of historians, 42 BC. Augustus there, he settled all the veterans after this big battle. And this city of Philippi, they were citizens. Some of them maybe have never been to Rome. These are army veterans. In citizenship, but in particular, citizens in this time, they had two purposes. And this is according to N.T. Wright's book, Surprised by Hope. He writes this. Page 100, if you want to know that, by HarperCollins, or Harper One. Anyway, first, it was aimed at extending Roman influence around the Mediterranean world. So cities, in particular, these places that they would put all these people, these retired veterans. Their purpose was to take Roman influence and spread it. It's a way to do it. Second one was to establish farms and businesses. It was to produce commerce. And so cities are really super important. And Paul says, hey, we are citizens of heaven, and we believe heavens exist, and we know we will see the Lord. And this idea of being citizens of heaven, writing to Philippi, you're citizens of Rome, even though you don't live in Rome, but you know it exists. And so, man, citizens and citizenship is this imagery that Paul gives of what it likes me to be part of God's kingdom. And so we talked about that for a little bit, and then we kind of finished up with Paul talks about being citizens and this idea of maturity, Christian growth, what it means to be mature as a Christian. And we broke down ways that we deal with issues. And so I think not all issues are on the same level, but issues have different levels of importance. And so we broke down four things when it comes to matters and maturity and how do we grow, how do we function as citizens, four areas, things that we die for, divide for, debate for, and decide for. You know, and it comes down to kind of Christianity and working out some of these issues. We've got to be careful that we don't put everything on the die for category. Paul does this in Romans 14 and 15. He talks about different type of issues that were in the church and how do we handle some of these things and what do we do with our brothers. He calls them weak and strong. And there's just different moments in the New Testament which talk about how do we mature together as Christians. So it's really, really kind of a neat process of maturity and citizenship, and all of this is working together because we are part of the kingdom of God right now already, but not yet fully until one day he comes back and all things are submitted unto him. So citizenship, maturity, these are kind of marks of what it means to be a citizen in the kingdom. And last point I made, I heard this from Mark Driscoll years ago. I heard this he taught a message, and this kind of stuck with me. When it comes to our responsibility in culture and how we respond, a couple of things. We either receive the things that culture produce, redeem them, or reject them. And I think part of maturity is saying what parts of culture are good for us or what parts are bad, what parts can we redeem, and what parts should we reject. Not everything culture produces is good, but not everything culture produces is bad. So there's this wisdom that comes in how we interact with the world. And the goal of a Christian as we mature, as we grow, man, there's a lot of benefits to us and to others, but really we're able to reflect out into culture what it means to be a citizen of heaven. And I think that's what Paul's getting at Philippians 3. So it was a really great text, really loved working through that. It was just a really kind of awakening idea about our responsibility as citizens, and we're really part of this larger body of believers that have given Jesus our loyalty, or what faith would demand is giving him our loyalty and trust. And so pretty cool text. Really excited about the next couple of weeks in Philippians and just what he talks about with regards to peace and how as people we're to think about certain things. And so we're looking forward to that next couple of weeks. A lot of great things happening at Calvary. If you've not been to the website or signed up for one of our fall semester classes, I would highly recommend that you do that. We're doing a Proverbs class, a Foundations class. There's some other classes up there listed, and it'd just be a blessing to see you here and enjoy those things together. So with that, Calvary Recap number 20 is concluded. We hope you guys have a great week. Talk to you later.